So your kid's heading off to college. First off, congrats to both you and to your child. You made it this far. But then the worry sets in. What can we do to protect our children when they're no longer in our home? Today we're going to talk about 5 things that you might want to consider packing when you send your kids off to the dorm, the university, the rental unit, wherever they're going off to school. I'm Tracy Taylor and I'm the part-time prepper from Alberta. My goal is to help you be more prepared for everyday emergencies. It's not just prepping for the zombies. Sometimes we're prepping for Tuesday with extra company. Sometimes we're prepping for times of unemployment. Sometimes we're prepping for our grown children to move out of the house. And that's what we're going to talk about today. There comes a time in every parent's life when our children are no longer living under our roofs. Maybe they're getting ready to head off to school. Today, we're going to talk about 5 things that I think that you might want to consider when you are getting them packed up and ready to leave. Now, all dorms, university residences, rental rooms will have different regulations and rules, so be sure to check those. But these are some of the things that I've packed for my kid as he heads out to live in residence. How do we protect our children when they're no longer sleeping under our roof? There comes a time when they've all finished school and they're ready to move out. Maybe they are going to post-secondary school. Maybe they're moving in on their own. But for today, we're going to talk about 5 things that I think you should consider when you're helping them pack to move to the dorm. But let's start first with fire safety. Our kids are no longer in our home, but what happens if a fire breaks out in the place that they are residing? These are a few things that I've packed in the bins that are heading off to school with my son in a couple weeks. First and foremost, let's talk fire safety. There's always the chance that a fire is going to break out while they're cooking or in their apartment or in their dorm room. So I have this as well as a 3M hook so that I can have that hanging right outside his bedroom door. I know where he's moving. It's just a small 2-bedroom unit with a little kitchenette. So if there's a fire in the kitchen, although they're not allowed to have anything flammable in their rooms, but there happens to be a fire, they can pull this fire blanket and cover it and hopefully get it out almost instantly. They are not rated to withhold a lot of time in a fire, but if he had to evacuate, go down through the stairs, go down through the hall, and there was a fire, he could wrap himself in this and it would buy him a little extra time so that less injury would happen. Again, the fire blanket is not rated to walk through fire, but it will protect him more than a sleeping bag or a towel or nothing. I've also got a small fire extinguisher. I do have to check and make sure that this is allowed to go. That's on his list today to find if they're allowed to bring their own fire extinguisher. If not, he knows to find out where the closest one to his dorm room is, but hopefully that would be okay if he takes that. Oops. And then just in case there is a fire, I've packed this. This is going to have all of his documents in there, a copy of all his identification, stuff that's important to him, his license, registrations, all of that stuff. It is a fireproof lockable bag. We have these at home as well. We put them right in the safe. They give you a little extra time, so this inside is safe. But while he's at school, he can have his important stuff in this, and he's already got a plan for where that's going to go. I know I said 5 things, but some of those things kind of go together. The next thing, again, you're going to want to check your rules and regulations in the area where you live. Some of you will be stricter and some of you will be less strict with what they can carry for personal safety. But I did buy a pepper spray and a key alarm. I will not pull this and let you lose your hearing, but as you can imagine, it is quite loud and it's just a matter of pull that. It also has a flashlight, so I'm going to suggest he has this on his key ring, or if nothing else, at least in his backpack. depending on where your residence or your dorm is compared to where they're actually going to school, whether they just have to walk through a corridor, whether it's an attached unit, or whether they have to take public transportation or walk through some shady areas, you might want to consider some form of personal safety. Should the power go out and they have to evacuate, I think he's on the 4th floor, or that's the plan so far. He's going to have to take the stairs down. Hopefully there's emergency lighting, but if not, he's got a headlamp packed as well as a lantern. The lantern would be good to help him navigate through the dorm, as well as to help others be able to see him should the power take out the emergency lights as well. An extra power bank and a gentle reminder sticker will go on the back of this saying, charge me now and then. It's always important if the power goes out and they can't charge their phone that they have a power bank. It's small enough he can carry it in his backpack. So we hope that our children never get sick or hurt, especially when we're not around to help take care of them. But they're grown adults now and living on their own. They're going to end up with colds, minor injuries, headaches, self-induced or otherwise. And so I've packed a first aid kit. It has everything from paper masks, cloth masks, Band-Aids, Tylenol, Advil, cough and cold medications, electrolyte drinks, as well as hot, cold beverages, zinc and throat lozenges, anything that you know that your child may chance falling into, a cold, a flu. There's anti-diarrhea medication and anti-constipation medication, just a little bit of everything. And if it sits up in his closet and he never has to use it, then I'm going to call that a win. Those are a few things that I have included to keep him safe when he's not living under my roof. So some of these things are going to give you a little peace of mind knowing that your child has them, hoping that they never have to use them. The next video is going to be a few things that you may forget to pack, but really could help make their dorm room experience a little better. Until then, take care, be safe, plan ahead, just in case. I'll see you next time.